Hey there, guys. So, this is my UFO story, and this is 100% exactly what I witnessed. I have no reason to lie or make up anything. This story or this experience was so intense, so vivid, that I decided to actually make a report with Mufon. And I'll just leave it at that. But here's what I experienced. And this sighting took place in Espanola, New Mexico. It was like around May, and it was in 2022. And well, here's what happened. I was outside and I was facing the west. The sun had already set. It was approximately about 9:30, 9:45, around there somewhere, p.m. And out of the blue in the west, here's what I saw. And like I said, I can't make this up. This is exactly what I saw, guys. Out of nowhere, I just seen this blue light appear, okay? And if you've ever seen the show Knight Rider, and I'm referencing that because if you recall on his car kit, right, on the front of the car, every time it talked, it would pulsate back and forth, right? Well, that's exactly what happened. I saw this blue light just appear in this one spot, and then it just pulsated upwards. And then once it got to a certain point, it stopped and it was just gone. And it did that 6 times. So then it came back on again, it like started lighting up again over here. And once it got a certain size, then it just started pulsating up. So keep in mind, it did that 6 times, okay? But on the 7th and 8th time that it did this, again, it did not pulsate, but instead a red orb came out and it just started flying, and then right behind that one, another red orb appeared and started flying too. So they were flying in tandem together from west to east. Now, as they were flying and they got directly over me, one of the red orbs just completely disappeared. It was gone. It shut off. And I should also note, I did try recording with my camera, but it just wasn't coming out on my phone. I have an iPhone. It just wasn't coming out for whatever reason. I mean, it was a really dark night, but it just wasn't coming out. So I just didn't even bother recording, and I just stayed witnessing everything, right? Taking it all in. And to be honest, let me just back up. To be honest with you guys, when it first started happening, I kind of was in disbelief as to what I was seeing. Honestly, I was like, okay, let me see. Okay, by the time the blue light pulsated the 3rd time upwards, then that's when I knew I was seeing a UFO, or I was seeing something just not normal. Like, this was just not normal, guys. So anyways, let me get back to the story, right? Exactly where I left off. As they were going above me, one of them just disappeared, and they were completely silent, no noise, nothing. They weren't flying terribly fast, but they were going pretty quick. And so once that second orb just completely turned off, the other one stayed on, and it just kept going flying in the easterly direction, and it was just in a straight line. Well, once it got to a certain distance, and it was hard for me to see it, in pretty much in the same area where those orbs appeared, there was a jet that came from that direction, and it was hauling butt. Um, Pretty sure it was military. I am pretty sure it was military. There's no doubt. Because it was like flying fast and it was loud. And you know how those jets are. If you've ever been around one of those fighter jets, they're loud, especially when they're hauling butt. You know, they're loud. So that thing was flying exactly in the path of the of that red orb that I seen. After all that happened, honestly, I was left dumbfounded and awestruck and excited at the same time because I finally had my first bona fide UFO sighting. And actually, to be honest, I've had some other strange experiences that are kind of peculiar. This is what I've also witnessed, not only in Espanola, but also in Abiquiu, New Mexico. And that's about it, actually, guys. Espanola and Abiquiu. The rest of my sightings are out in Abiquiu, New Mexico. And what I've seen out there is in the night sky, I'll see a light come on, right? It looks like a spotlight, but it'll start off really dim and then it starts building brightness and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and then as soon as it, gets to a certain brightness, it's gone. It disappears. There's no sound, there's no movement, no nothing. And that's happened to me more than once. More than once, many times. And there has been some other times where I have seen just what looks like a white light up in the sky, flying across the sky, but suddenly when it's flying, the light just completely shuts off. And there's no noise. That's the one thing that's interesting. There's never a noise when I see these type of lights that like, and there's no blinking either. It's just a solid white light, you know. But this is my UFO sighting. This is my story, and yeah, New Mexico has them. Everywhere has these craft. I couldn't see anything as far as like an outline or anything. It was just orbs and blue light. And then those other ones I've seen, they're just always white lights. That's it. So I can't ever say I've seen like a craft. It's always just been lights for me personally. But yeah, guys, that's my story. It'll never change. It'll always be the same. And if anybody else out there is a UFO enthusiast, here's what I'm going to say. And I've been really good with this timing, particularly. If you look in the western direction usually between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and you just keep an eye in the west, I don't know if this would work for other locations, but if you happen to be in the Abiquiu, Espanola area, this happens frequently. So much so that I've already figured out this little time frame where usually these sightings occur, and it's always somewhere between 9 and 10, right in that 1 hour. I'll always see those white lights that'll just suddenly come on and then go off. Or they'll come on and then they'll start moving a little and then they go off. But the first story, that is the craziest sighting I've ever seen in my life. And that one required a story to be told. And my testimony. Well, I wish you all luck on your sightings. And if you have a story to share, please share it. And link me below in the comments so I can hear your story. I would love to hear it. Or anything else supernatural, paranormal. I'm telling you, New Mexico, for some reason, New Mexico has a lot of that activity here. It really does. I'll share another story next time, guys. When I used to live in Los Alamos, I'll tell you about what happened there, and that was really weird. Y'all have a good day. Take care.